going on, guys? It's December 1st, and today we are going to go save an old classic car today. It's a 1949 Studebaker Champion Starlight with the wraparound back window. Really cool car. It's been sitting for like 20 plus years in the woods. We got it really cheap. Bought it for 200 bucks yesterday. And today we're just gearing up with the chainsaws and the shovels to go dig this thing out. It's pretty rough, but it needs to be saved. It needs a home for Christmas. I mean, that's how I look at it. But it's gonna be a little bit of a job to get it out. It's about an inch off the ground from the frame. It's sunk into the ground pretty bad. And like I said, it needs some saving. I'll put some pictures up right now and you guys could look at that. As you can see, there's trees growing up all around it. It's sunken into the ground. It's pretty rough and pretty stuck. So let's get to it. We are pulling in, going way back in the woods. This thing is way back here. And there it is. She is buried. Let's get this thing turned around. Got some stuff to move out of the way I don't want to run over. Biggest thing is getting the chainsaws out and getting this old girl freed. She's not too sunk in the dirt, but she has definitely seen some better days. What was that? Windows, he said, were broken out by a kid back here, and the interior was actually okay before then. Hood blew off at one point in its life. Don't know about the bullet hole, but like tree fell on it. But allegedly, the car was featured in the movie Roger Rabbit. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what he told me. And I'm gonna stick to it because I think it's pretty cool. And this car is actually pretty rare. This back glass is actually called a starlight. They didn't make those too many years, and you don't really see them, but thank goodness that window is actually intact. And the rest of the car looks to be in fairly good shape. Now there is some frame rot, as you can see, but to be expected with a car that's been sitting here for who knows how long, really. Yeah, got the chainsaw out. I think he just brought reinforcements. He got quite the machine to get this thing out. Hopefully we don't need that machine. I think my winch on my trailer should hopefully get this thing out once we cut these trees out of the way. Using the saw, he says he's just going to snap the trees out with this excavator. That makes life a little easier. So he's got to clear this spot anyhow. We got most of it out. We're gonna see if these old tires will hold some air. Maybe we can get this thing out of this grave it's in. This front one's starting to pump up, starting to come up, lift out of the grave. All right, it's time to get this thing chained up and hooked up to the winch and start giving it a tug and see if we can break it free out of the ground it's sitting in. Get this thing up on the trailer. As we start pulling here, it looks like it's gonna put up a fight. Only one wheel is free, the other three are seized up, so we're just dragging them along. So airing up the tire really didn't do a whole lot. So we got it somewhat on the trailer. We only have one free spinning tire. None of the other tires are willing to spin. This one's off the bead and she's sliding sideways, so I'm gonna have buddy here, Ethan, and owned the car, pushed this thing over and see if we could drag her up on the trailer. My girlfriend Abigail just opened the hood, and this is the first look of what this little, I think this is a 232 or 239. It's rough, but to be expected. Still got the original mason jar vacuum can, or that might actually be the windshield wiper fluid on this car. Not sure. It's rusty, but it's all there. That's all that matters. Here it gets a little scary. Trying to find a place to chain this thing up to slide it over. The only good spot I could find was the actual leaf spring, and I was a little worried about bending or ripping it out, but it seemed to work okay. A couple times we got a little close to the car with that bucket, but he did a good job and pulled this thing right over. With them back wheels being stuck, this thing wants to walk right off the trailer. So we positioned the bucket so as I pulled the car up the trailer, it would kind of guide it on and keep it on that ramp. And unfortunately, my Harbor Freight winch ran out of power and couldn't pull this thing all the way up on the trailer with 3 stuck wheels. And I didn't want to take a chance pushing it with the bucket and risk damaging the car. So we changed it up to the bucket in the front and just yanked it right up on the trailer. Keep it rolling. And after getting on the trailer, the thing slid all the way over to the fender because of those stuck wheels in the back. So we had to try to drag it over to the other side so we could continue pulling it all the way up on the trailer. It took some time, but we finally managed to get it slid over and pulled all the way up on the trailer. That's good. Then we repositioned the trailer, had him drive around to the other side, and pull the car to center it up on the trailer so we can get this thing strapped up and get out of here. With the car up on the trailer, you can really see what we're working with. This thing definitely needs a good cleaning, and there is rust falling out of every orifice of this thing. So we need to get this thing washed up and start working on it.
The frame's got some rot, so the biggest thing is seeing how bad the frame is. Terrible. Keep the frame. It's not too much you talk about.
You're all strapped up and ready to go. Well, we got it here on the trailer. That was definitely a struggle, being that only this wheel here is free and everything else is locked up tight. But it is on the trailer and it's coming home. We just stopped at Paul's place, a little hot dog stand. Gonna get us some good hot dogs. This thing is definitely rough. But I mean, it is just cool. I mean, what can I say? Frame's there. Some parts of it, but wait, I mean, this is just so cool. I'm honestly speechless. For $200, you really can't go wrong. You could take this thing to the scrapyard for more than that, which I'm not going to do. I'll hoard it and probably say I'm going to sell it, but never sell it. It'll probably just, if I can't get it running, it'll sit. But I'm going to try not to do that this time and sell it, get it running and sell it, and let somebody enjoy this thing once again. So apparently, the guy said, I was saying earlier, it was in the Roger Rabbit film. I've never seen the movie. He said it's an animated film. They brought this exact car in to draw the animated cars, kind of like a baseline. So that is pretty neat. Let's go ahead and get it home. We're going to stop at the car wash on the way there and blast off most of this rust and what's inside. So stay tuned. And nothing but the good stuff. Paul's Place, famous hot dogs. Its first wash in probably over 20-some years, and it's made a mess on my trailer because it is very, very, very dirty. More like rusty, but give this thing a wash. Well, half the car is on the ground now. We desecrated this poor car wash with the rust, dirt, and whatever else came out of this thing. He did lift the hood. The hood has been blowing off at one point, so that's pretty damaged. We'll have to try to fix that. No big deal, though. Well, it looks a lot cleaner than it did. Still dirty, but I mean, this thing needs a lot of work, so it's a lot better now than it has ever been in the last 20 years. So let's go ahead and head home and we'll start tinkering with it. We got her home. Just notice it has an anarchy sign on the side and it says, "I'm broke." Well, I'm gonna go broke probably fixing it up, but hopefully not. This thing is pretty rough. A lot more rust fell off on the trailer on the way here, to be expected. Trying to figure out what the original color was. We're looking like white here, but that might be the primer. Under here it's taxi yellow. So I don't know. That's gonna have to be determined in the VIN, if we could find a VIN on this thing. It doesn't have a title. Well, what is that that just fell out? Good Brew 5s. Well, isn't that kind of cool? I'm gonna take this fender off to open the door, but there's all kinds of crap in there. We might get lucky and actually find the title in this thing. She's rough, but she's pretty. Love this back window. Super unique back window. Looks like something like a spaceship. In the upcoming week, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up as much as we can. Throw a battery in it, see what comes to life, and see, probably look at the wiring first. That'd probably be a good idea. Looks like we got a newspaper, and I have no idea. We're gonna start by draining the oil, seeing how much water's in it, and getting some ATF down those cylinders, trying to loosen things up. He says it spun over so long ago, but we're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and not even try and start doing that, and probably unbolt this hood somehow so we can fix that. This will be pretty simple to fix. A little digging of the trunk, found the original license plate to the car. It's got a Michigan plate, and last time it was registered was August 88. Thing's been off the road for 35 plus, what, 35, 36 years.
Somewhere right in there.
And we found some extra trim pieces, all the hubcaps, the death jack, brake clean. Yeah.
The room's not in too bad a shape.
So we're gonna keep digging and see what we can find. I'm gonna go get a trash can and start emptying this trunk out. To the inside now, found the original air cleaner, oil bath air cleaner. My buddy Joel's over here, and my dad tuning his car. Right. Okay. box and hopefully we find a title. Found some keys hanging over there. There's keys in the ignition. And there's keys in the original glove box. So we're gonna dig through this thing and try to clean it up a bit. We're getting it a little cleaner. We got that box out of there, full of just paperwork and no title. But we did find a spare intake and exhaust manifold with bolts. So somebody must have ordered that, and that's what that box was all these years. You can actually see the interior is all there, but gone. Door panels were really cool. Oh, that's gator skin. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna keep on cleaning this out, raking it out, and it's getting a little cleaner so no other animals move in. But that's gonna be hard to prevent. But look at that dash. That is a cool ass dash. All right, when I come back, this is gonna be a little bit cleaner. I just got the spring undone for the trunk so we could close that and try to keep some stuff out of there. Obviously it's not gonna be anywhere watertight. But that is gonna conclude our video for today. I have some vacuuming to do on my trailer once again, because the more I beat on this car, the more rust falls out of it. But we got most of all the boxes cleaned out of here. It's getting cold, so I'm gonna go inside. It's been a long day getting this thing out. But stay tuned, you're gonna see a ton of videos on this. We are gonna try to get the motor unstuck. It seems like it is stuck. I'm sure it is, but we are gonna try to get it running and see if we could bring life back into this thing. And if we can't, we'll throw this body on another frame or something, or send it down the road, who knows. So stay tuned with the little Studebaker build. We'll see you next time.